Hi. The number one cause of death in America is abortion. And you know, in the black community, half of every black woman that gets pregnant will abort their baby in the United States. That's how bad it is. Because every baby is created in the image of God, and we need to treat it as such, right? But people just aren't, they just don't care, you know? So godly people need to stand up and say it's wrong, and we oppose it, and you know, and we need to support women, and we need to support these children, right? So, but you imagine that, like half of the black women you know have had an abortion. Like the black population is stagnant; it's not growing, you know, which is amazing, right? So, like slavery used to be legal, and they said that it was okay to own a slave, to beat a slave, to rape a slave. It wasn't illegal. You could do all those things, right? They weren't human. Well, they're saying now the same thing about babies in the womb. That they're not human. They don't have any rights, you know, and they do, just like everybody else does, right? So there's an abortion clinic here in town, and you know, we should care about that, right? So not just having a moral opinion, right, and say that morally it's wrong.
I mean, personally, I'm against it, so that's...
So you're okay with somebody else doing it? Are you okay with someone else owning a slave?
I did it.
I know, but is it okay?
I know, but it's life.
It is life. So you're okay. You wouldn't do it, but it's okay if someone else kills their child.
But
I think you need to rethink your position.
okay.
Because he didn't want to push people away.
I don't know. I don't have any more.
Actually, he said that he came
Go
to
to
a
the
story.
teachings. Go to what Jesus actually, his interactions with people through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Look at his interactions. Other than with the Pharisees and basically the teachers of the law, all of his interactions were positive with everybody. Not like this. He called out the Pharisees, he called out the teachers of the law. With basic day-to-day people, with quote-unquote sinners, he chose to dine with them, interact with them, and lead by example. You guys are leading by example, but sometimes it's just a little too much.
Are we supposed to expose evil?
It's not your job to expose evil. Evil's
The
already
Bible says to
exposed.
expose evil. It says to hold back those that are being led to slaughter. It said to make just laws. Like, woe to the man that does not make a just law.
Exact context. Now you guys are becoming the Pharisees and the lawbreakers. Because you're not, by focusing so much on these laws and these doctrines,
What about-
giving away what Jesus specifically says.
What about
He says
murder?
He requires mercy, not sacrifice. He
Right.
said it twice.
What about murder?
This means he requires mercy, not sacrifice.
Focusing on something.
So you're requiring all these people to basically sacrifice their beliefs. Don't expect non-Christians to think like Christians. It's not
Right, we
gonna
don't.
happen.
We don't.
So you have to lead them by small examples. This is just an extremism that pushes people away.
What about you? You're a Christian, right?
Yeah.
So, is it okay to kill babies in the womb?
That's not for me to judge. It's not my opinion. But what we're supposed
Is
to
it
do
murder?
beings on this planet? No, I don't murder. Then stop asking me questions. All right. The point being, read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. See how Jesus interacts with other human beings.
If it was legal to
He
kill,
doesn't call people out on the daily streets. He calls out the Pharisees. And he calls out the makers of the law.
is it legal? If it was legal to
Stop
kill,
asking me questions. Just read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
well, I read them.
I'm not speaking for myself. I speak for Jesus and what I've learned. Stop. I'm done.